Joined now on the show by Saskatoon Blades forward Colton Dach. Colton, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, so let's get right into it. So, obviously, this season was a bit of a weird one for everyone. You guys were in a bubble. What was that whole experience like in there? Was it kind of what you expected, I suppose, or was there a few things that happened that was not what was on the radar?
Yeah, obviously it was a little weird going into a bubble, but we had a bunch of Zoom calls before we went there of our coaching staff and showing us what it was going to be like and what our rooms were going to be like. So we kind of knew what we were heading into. Obviously, like there was some stuff that we didn't know was there, like the food was a little. It was the best they could do, but it was obviously a little different from what we would usually be eating in a season. But overall, it wasn't horrible.
Hmm. So I guess this season overall too is your second season in the league. How do you think you were as an individual for the team, and how do you think the team was? And I guess heading forward, how excited is it going to be for you and the team?
Yeah, I think last year as a 16-year-old, I started off the season a little rocky, and I think I found my confidence as the season went on. And I think it just helped going into this year. Obviously, the long off season, and I trained with our assistant coach in Saskatoon. He lives in around Fort Saskatchewan, so I trained with him in the summer. So I got my confidence up with him, and he believes in me. So it was nice to have him there during the season.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about your rookie season a little bit. It seemed like you eventually, I guess, kind of started getting more on the score sheet towards the end of November. Was there something you did in your game to kind of start getting more assists and goals, or do you think that kind of just came gradually after just playing so many games?
Yeah, I think it obviously it's just something about confidence and finding yourself in the league and feeling yourself the right way. I think at Christmas time when I came home, like obviously my brother came home for Christmas, so I talked to him, and it was nice to have him there, and he supported me and he talked to me, and he told me some little things I could maybe start doing to try and help me out, and I think it obviously took off after Christmas.
So I guess let's just talk on your brother on that aspect too. Like, how has he helped you in your career? He's a couple of years older than you, of course. And I was lucky. And I don't think you guys have played on the same team at least for a while. Like, how what's kind of like the dynamic between the two? Do you kind of does he? I guess you call him a mentor in a way to you, or is it kind of not that level?
Yeah, obviously he's a guy I lean on to talk to about this stuff. I think he's me and him are also very competitive with each other, and we like to whenever we do stuff, we always do it for someone to be a winner. So there's a lot of competitive nature between us, and sometimes it gets a little heated. But he's always there for me if I need to talk to him about stuff like this. So he's a great help.
And you mentioned too during the summer, and of course with COVID last summer too, like it was a little unknown when this season would even come back. And you said you trained with your assistant coach here around Fort Saskatchewan. And was that kind of, I guess, a reason why you didn't try, and maybe you did try and find another junior 18 to play for, perhaps, but like a lot of guys ended up like maybe ventured out into the AJHL or BC or Manitoba. Was that ever an option for you, or were you kind of just comfortable sticking with your coach and doing whatever you guys could do there?
Yeah, I think obviously I think when you're a 16-year-old, you go through some ups and downs, but I think I was really happy with Saskatoon, and I think they're pretty happy with me. So there wasn't any wavering on switching teams there. I was pretty happy there.
Mhm. So one thing too is I noticed from your final year in midget AAA with Fort Saskatchewan, then you went to Saskatoon. Of course, your numbers weren't really. They kind of were on the same level, I guess. And then the next year you pretty much doubled your numbers. What do you think? What do you think caused you to kind of take that next jump? And what did you kind of change in your game from your rookie year to this past year?
I think I think looking back, I watched a lot of my games, and I think looking back as a when you're 16, you're not really like a man yet. So I think you're still growing and still developing new things. So I think this there was like 10 months we had for training was helped me a lot and helped me improve all the stuff that I thought I needed to improve on, and I think it helped me in the long run.
Mhm. Now, one player I wanted to talk to you about on the Blades specifically was Chase Waters from the team. They announced recently that they were going to retire his number, and he's a captain for 3 years there. And it's not really something you see too often in junior hockey, where guys the C on the jersey for so long. What is, I guess, for people who don't know, what does that guy mean to the Blades as an organization, and also how did he kind of help you in the past couple of years?
Yeah, I think obviously Chase has been there for 5 or 6 years, so he knows what it takes to be a Blade. And I think at the end of the season, Lever touched on it that they came into they came into the Saskatoon organization with Chase being assistant captain. They didn't know anyone. They didn't know Chase, but they came there and they saw him right from day one with the leader he was. So I think obviously he means a lot to the Blades and to the community. He's a really good guy to learn from. Obviously, I was his stallmate for the last 2 years, so it was nice to have him there if I ever need to talk to.
Mhm. And I just want to do a little throwback here. So you played for OHA Edmonton, and you guys won the championship in your Bantam year. Like, and there's some great players that played on the team. Obviously yourself, and then Colton Coolemans, Keaton O'Hanyuk is another kid from next year. There's tons of guys on that team. I guess like, is it been really cool to kind of go through the process with those guys? Obviously, a lot of you are spread out throughout the league now and other leagues too. But like, you go through the Bantam draft together, and now you're all highly touted prospects too in this year's draft. Do you guys still have like a pretty good relationship from that team? And I guess is it just cool to kind of go through it with guys that you've gone through everything with so far?
Yeah, obviously with that team, we had a pretty special team. I think we do a really good job of staying in touch with each other. And we all train together, we all skate together. So I think we've ever since then we've always been with each other throughout the summers, and it's just helped us throughout the years. Obviously, with this year going through the draft process, if guys have questions, like there's other guys there to talk to them and see what they would have said for questions. But it's obviously it's nice to have those guys there.
Mm-hmm. So last couple for you, I guess for people who haven't seen you play, what kind of player are you?
I'd say I'm a power forward who likes to have the puck on his stick, and he's a strong physical guy down low and he likes to be creative when he has the puck and find ways to produce offense.
Mm-hmm. So one question I like to ask is who's one of your favorite teammates that you've played with, and not necessarily from like a friendship perspective, I guess you could say, but someone who you've found you've had a really good chemistry on the ice, and you guys have just clicked together every time you play.
I think for me it's Chase Waters. I think just the energy he brings is always you're always going to get 110% from him. So having him on the ice, you always know he's going to be in the right position and right spot. So it's always nice to have a guy like that out there.
Mm-hmm. Last one for you. What are you most excited about for draft day?
I think obviously just sharing the moment with my family. Obviously with COVID, it's going to be a little difficult to have all your friends and family here, but I think it'll be really nice to share that moment with my mom and my dad and my grandparents. Obviously, they've sacrificed a lot for me growing up. It'll be a special moment.
Well, best of luck with the draft that's coming up, and thanks a lot for taking the time to speak to me today.
Yeah, thank you very much.